Hi there, folks. I'm Meteorologist Darby Bybee, joined here with Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan. We're keeping you ahead of the storm. Tropical storm, once was Tropical Storm Isaac, has now become Tropical Depression Isaac, and it has winds of about 35 miles per hour.
That's right.
Now.
Now, 39 miles per hour is where you start a tropical storm force.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking all this past week about how this is not a wind event.
Yeah.
This is a rain event.
Yeah, it really is.
And I have to give us a little credit, because you and I were talking about this last Thursday when everyone was discussing it's going to hit Florida, but
the Panhandle,
you've got to know how these computer models work to understand that they don't always catch the forecast track initially right, because the storm is still in the development phase.
Yeah, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong.
Hey, in this case,
it worked out.
We did pretty good, and I think we've got folks pretty well prepared. We've got a long 24 hours ahead of us, a lot to talk about. Darby, why don't you go ahead?
The flash flood watch, we've got this in effect through 1 a.m. on Saturday, and for good reason. Lots of rain moving through the state right now. We do have flash flood warnings now over Chico County as of the 5:40 p.m. hour. They've already seen over an inch of rain. They can expect at least another 3 inches, and quite possibly even more than that the next 24 hours as the storm system works its way through Arkansas. Now, we've also seen some wind damage reports. Now, it is mainly a rain event, but as these bands come through, what's happening is that heavy rain, it gets very heavy, and it actually pushes the very strong winds that we have well above the surface down to the surface. So the winds are strongest at about 5,000 feet, but when you get those very heavy rains, that pushes that very strong wind down to the surface, and you get wind damage. We've had some of that already in the Sherwood area, Jacksonville, as well as portions of North Little Rock, and here in central Little Rock as well, the downtown area. Trees down, limbs down, and power lines going down in some areas, power outages in Jefferson County. Expect more of that throughout the rest of the evening.
And I will point out, Darby, we have been in an exceptional drought. A lot of these trees are already weak to begin with. We're not seeing entire trees coming down, but a lot of those weaker limbs caused by the drought are what are falling, and what are falling on power lines. So normally, if we had a normal summer with normal rainfall, this wouldn't be an issue, but it is over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And let's take a look at our radar. We can see that the heaviest bands is beginning to move through Little Rock right now. Those yellows you see right there indicating moderate rain, the oranges and red indicating some of the heavier downpours, seeing now even here in northern Arkansas, the Washington County area as well as Newton County. We're seeing the heaviest rain right now over portions of Lincoln County, and it looks like they're in DeShay County and Phillips County as well. The eye of this storm system was moving to the north and west pretty consistently the last 24 hours in this direction right here. Well, now as we take a look at our radar image, Keith, I think you'd agree the eye of this thing really kind of moving to the northwest, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it might be moving just west of north, and that could spell a bigger problem for places like central and eastern Arkansas, where the heavy rain is going to be along and just east of the center. And that core of the storm, we have something that's called a core rain event that could sometimes occur during the nighttime hours with tropical systems. What will happen is they contract inwards when there's less convergence at the surface due to daytime heating outside of the storm's envelope. But at night, all that convergence is right near the storm center, so we could see some very, very heavy rainfall moving with that center circulation now in south central Arkansas.
Yeah, and if it takes a track that kind of goes up through this area right through here instead of the original track that was forecast by the National Hurricane Center, which was more like this, then the heaviest rains, instead of the heaviest rains being in this area right here, we would see, with a track that takes this storm system due north from where it is right now, we would see the heaviest rains really in this area right here. And if that's the case, it'll be eastern Arkansas, Brinkley, Searcy, Pine Bluff, Monticello, those areas that see the best likelihood of seeing some flash flooding. We're already starting to see some of these banding events taking place right here. This band right here, I think you would agree, Keith, that that's not just a banding event, but maybe some strong winds with that.
Oh yeah, I would say definitely with rain that heavy, it's going to pull down some of those 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds that are 5,000 feet above the surface. So you're going to see these sudden gusts with these rain bands.
Yeah, so we'll see where the heaviest rain actually falls, whether it's in eastern Arkansas or central Arkansas. So far in southeastern Arkansas, 1 to 2 inches of rain already in places like Ashley County and Chico County, as mentioned before. And this area of 1 to 2 inches of rain ought to be in this area at the very least by tomorrow, and some areas in this area right here especially, we think Arkansas County, maybe Jefferson County could exceed 4 inches of rain by this time tomorrow, as the storm system by this time tomorrow should be in southwestern Missouri. So let's take a look at our rainfall potential according to our models, and the models pretty much agree. It will be eastern Arkansas more than likely that sees the heaviest rain with this system, between 3 and 5 inches in most areas, and parts of eastern Arkansas, the Delta region, could actually exceed 5 inches of rain. And you can see that with our model, over 7 inches maybe in Monticello.
Right, and I would point out, don't so much focus on that 7 inches in Monticello.
Yeah.
Focus on what the model is telling us. The model is telling us that the potential is some places could exceed 5 or 6 or 7 inches of rain. And again, it's impossible to tell you what neighborhoods this is going to occur in. That's why we've been keeping everybody up to date over the past couple of days to be prepared for this tomorrow morning.
Yeah, all we can say is somewhere more than likely in this area of central and eastern Arkansas. All right, so let's continue on with this. With our models and take a look at our wind gusts. As we go throughout the day, we've already seen some wind gusts likely over 40-45 miles per hour across central and southern Arkansas, where we're seeing some of that wind damage, and we'll continue to see that through the evening and overnight hours. The strongest wind gusts to the north and to the east of the center of low pressure, which could track right through central Arkansas or through western Arkansas. We're not sure about the track exactly right now, but look for very strong winds throughout the night tonight. And then we should see weakening in the winds a little bit tomorrow morning, throughout the day tomorrow, as the storm system itself continues to weaken.
Now, just to point out, these are wind gusts.
These are wind gusts.
These aren't
Yeah.
sustained. So
Yeah.
again, we have those strong winds above the surface. Any rainfall will bring those gusty winds down to the ground.
Yeah, that's when you're going to see these wind gusts. You're not going to see the wind gusts just when it's dry out or when the rain has lightened. You're only going to see those wind gusts when the rain really picks up. Forecast track as we take this through the next 24, 36 hours. You can see, it looks like lots of heavy rain, the forecast through tonight. So here in Little Rock, it's pretty much going to rain all night long, bands of heavy rain, and with those bands, those stronger winds. And it looks like we start to see the storms become more scattered throughout the day on a Friday. Here's the thing, though. Our winds on Friday afternoon, Friday evening, mainly from the south and southeast, and then just above the surface, we have those very strong winds at the 5 to 10,000 foot range that are going to be more from the south and southwest. So we do have some turning close to the surface. That's some rotation, and any storms that do form that maybe take off a little bit better and strengthen a little bit more will have that rotation near the surface, and so isolated tornadoes will be possible. The thing is, these are not going to be organized storms.
Right.
The atmosphere is not primed for organized storms, but these low-topped thunderstorms could certainly produce some isolated
And I will
tornadoes.
point out, I checked into some of the research over the past couple of days as Isaac was approaching. 79% of all tornadoes that occur with inland tropical systems are F0s or F1s. There's nothing to not care about, but we're not talking about
Exactly.
the supercellular thunderstorms that produce these F3s, F4s, F5s.
And not just weak, but because the the storms themselves are disorganized, they would be brief tornadoes.
Weak and
as well.
brief,
Weak
right.
and brief. Forecast track through to Saturday morning. Yes, scattered storms around, scattered storms throughout the day on Saturday, mainly in central and northern Arkansas. And then by Sunday, or Labor Day, Sunday into Labor Day, it looks pretty good. A lot of folks celebrating Labor Day really on Sunday, and right now it looks like dry conditions across most of the state, helping to dry things out, and maybe even doing a little bit of cleanup in some areas on Sunday.
That's right. And I would caution folks, if you are going out to enjoy the outdoors this weekend, especially Saturday, if you're going to national parks to go camping, keep alert to the weather. There'll still be scattered rain around. Even on into Sunday, we could be talking about some high water left over in some areas.
And maybe give us a little bit of a rundown, a summary of the impacts from Isaac.
Well,
Keith.
for central Arkansas, and that would be the greater Little Rock area down to Pine Bluff, out to Russellville, Hot Springs, on east toward the Stuttgart area. East to southeast winds now through 7 p.m. Friday, 15 to 30 with gusts to 45, mainly in rain bands. Rainfall 48 inches, isolated 10-inch amounts. Not everybody's going to see that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see those higher totals. Could see some wind gusts pretty strong as well.
Yeah, and as we go into northern Arkansas, central and northern Arkansas, we're looking at 3 to 6 inches of rain, so maybe slightly lower totals in some locations in northern Arkansas. Certainly northwestern Arkansas, you're going to see less rain. Northeastern Arkansas, you're going to see more rain because of the track of the system. Storm wind gusts, once again, a little bit lower because the system is weakening as it moves off to the north, and isolated tornadoes east of the track.
That'll be mainly tomorrow, though.
In the
afternoon hours with a little heating.
Yeah, if we're going to see any tornadoes, I think in Arkansas it's more than likely going to happen during the day on Friday afternoon. And I think, yeah, like you said, Keith, you absolutely agree with that. Extended forecast. Once again, the severe icon in there, the lightning strike, that is for the slight risk of severe weather on our Friday. And then we see chances of storms there on Saturday. An isolated storm can't be ruled out on Sunday, but I think most of Sunday, I think you'd agree, Keith, will be dry.
Yes.
And we continue into Labor Day, and we actually see the temperatures go up. As this system pulls away, the heat gets just pulled out of the west,
That's
out
right.
of Oklahoma
The
and
west-southwest
Texas.
winds,
Yeah, we get those west-southwest winds, and we're going to heat up after this storm system moves through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And that's it from here at the KR.